All right, everybody. How are we doing today? I'm your Echopiece theater host, Maui. I want to thank you all for being here today. I know that the past week we've had uh, a lot of anger, and rightfully so. I know that I'm having a really tough time with everything right now. So before we started, I just wanted to name that we decided right before we were about to go on to delay until 7:08 because there was a 7 minute protest happening in Oak Park, and we wanted to give space for that. Uh, so yeah, I just wanted to send all of my love out to them. But tonight we are going to do some live theater. This is our third Echopiece theater. We're very excited, and this one has been curated by our own in-house ensemble, Reverb. I think you're going to be blown away with what they've come up with. This is interesting because before we've done plays, today we're doing original pieces all made by the Reverb Ensemble. And to talk about that, I'm going to bring in the peer leader of Reverb as well as our lead artistic associate, uh, Stephanie Iverson. So, Stephanie, how you doing?
Hello, I'm good. Um, yeah, so this is our bake off. Reverb is, I'm sorry, I'm distracted because my name is up. Maui, can you try and fix that while I talk?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, okay, so yes, hello. Welcome. We are very excited to show you our bake off today. So let me explain to you what a bake off is. Um, So Reverb usually puts on things like cabarets and uh, readings, and we get together and we work on our own craft and we strengthen ourselves and build our relationships with each other. And when the shutdown happened, we were super disappointed not to only have to cancel our meetings every other Saturday, but also to cancel a show that we were working on, a main stage show. So after kind of taking it easy for a few weeks, one of our members, Jonathan, came to us with an idea that worked perfectly for us to do virtually. And that was the Bake Off. So a Bake Off is when a group of people get together, which we already had, so we were already doing great, and each contribute an ingredient. The ingredients could be anything from an object, an idea, a feeling. So we came and we all brought those, and then we all went away for a couple of weeks. We wrote pieces incorporating those ingredients, and what came out was like a wonderful mixture of monologues and scenes and jokes and poems and stories, and everything is different, made from the same batch of ingredients. I have our ingredients here to list off. These are kind of like Easter eggs that you can pick out in each one of our scenes today. So be on the lookout for these ingredients. We have Zoom, the first day of spring, a turtle, candles, a funeral, a peanut, and the phrase elementary, my dear Watson. So all of our pieces incorporate most, if not all, of those ingredients. And it's been so fun to have some unifying things in our very different pieces. The
So does
program.
that mean that we get to be Paul Hollywood and Mary Berry, and we get to like, oh, that scene was absolutely scrummy. We get to do that. Did you not watch the Great British Bake Off? It's like the best thing ever. I'm just
I
saying.
know, but what is scrummy?
It means like scrumptious. It's delicious.
Scrummy. I thought it was a mix between scrumptious and crummy. Anyway, yeah, sure. If you want to judge, if the people want to judge, no, don't do that.
No, I do not want to do that.
The program for our event should be in the Facebook. The Facebook description. So you can follow on there. We'll also be introducing our pieces before we give them.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
one last thing, everything that we're doing virtually is because we were, due to COVID-19, not able to do our season as we imagined it in person. So now we have pivoted to a virtual season. So we put a lot of money into those physical productions that we were going to do. And so whatever you can donate, if you're watching tonight, if you can just donate $10, that'd be great. If you can donate five, that's great. If you can't donate anything, that's okay too. First and foremost, we want you to be able to enjoy this. And it is not contingent on you giving us money to watch this. Everything that we're putting up is free, but we hope that if you do have the means to give, please give. Yeah. Anything else before we start? There will be an intermission.
There will be an intermission, yeah. So,
Mhm.
or you could just carry your phone to the toilet. That's fine too. We won't care.
We won't see. So,
All right. Anything else from you, Mai?
for me, I'm going to pop out. I'm going to hand it over to you since this is a Reverb Bake Off. Stephanie is going to be our host. So, peace out, everybody. I'll see you at the end when we will do a Q&A afterwards with the individual people that wrote their scenes. So.
All right. We are going to go ahead and get started with our readings then. I hope you all enjoy this. And yeah, first up, we have a poem read by our own member, Jonathan. Hey, Jonathan. All right.
Hi, I'm here to read a poem by our ensemble member, Anne Nunez. How could you leave me? Especially when the air is fresh, the breeze is cool, and trees sport a green haze. We should be at Wrigley, having a dog and a beer, eating peanuts and having a cold one or two. But you did. You died, and now I wander from room to room, thinking that maybe I'll see your form lying on the bed napping. I'll feel the heat as we spoon. I am lost. Thank you. That was from Anne Nunez. Next up, we have our ensemble member, Stephanie Iverson, with an original monologue.
Hello, my name is Stephanie, and this is a monologue I wrote called No Spring. Okay, well, the last day I was outside before I got sick was the first day of spring, like 2 years ago. I have seasonal depression or something, so like the first day of spring is like electrifying for me. Like that's why I remember it, because the first day you can go outside without a coat on and you feel so free. And all winter feels like I've got a straight jacket on, and then it's like finally I can breathe. And the colors, the grass is green and the flowers are budding and the sky is blue, and it's like whole winter is in black and white, and then suddenly it's color and it's beautiful. Melissa was born in spring. And it's so warm, and the birds sing, and I can lift my head, I can look straight ahead. I'm not all bunched up in a scarf, and I smile and I look around and I breathe. Sorry. Anyway. And then the lockdown happened. One day everything is fresh and open and bright, and then the next the grocery stores are closing. It's never been so bad that the grocery stores have closed. And of course we're out of food. Me and Melissa, of course, it was shopping day and the day it happened, and people have been stocking up for weeks, but we never had the money. So I see on Facebook that one store is selling its supply out of a warehouse, and I mean, I knew what they were doing was illegal, and I knew going out was illegal, but what was I supposed to do? Melissa was 6. So I went and got us bread and peanut butter. And I guess that's where I caught it. I don't know where else it could have been. And for the first week, it was fine. You know, I worked from home. Melissa was always good and quiet during my Zoom meetings, and she was good during her homeschooling. And she, I mean, she was always just so good, even when I started getting sick. She'd bring me water and medicine and take care of me. And I know that's not right. I know a child shouldn't have to take care of their parent, but she did it anyway. On one really bad night, she even brought me Shelly to sleep with. Shelly's her stuffed turtle. You might want to write that down. She hadn't slept a night without Shelly since the day she was born, but that night, she let me have her. I don't exactly remember the night I had to go to the hospital. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the documentaries of how bad this thing was, like how awful it was, like what it did to people. Well, it killed people, didn't it? The doctors tell me Melissa called the ambulance because I wasn't waking up. Have you had any idea how traumatizing that must be for a child that young? God. And I woke up in the hospital room. An empty, blank hospital room, all hooked up, all these tubes and wires, and dizzy and warm and cold, and one window where I could only see the left wing of the hospital. No trees, no sky, no spring. And not even the nurses would visit me. And I was so weak I couldn't even lift my phone to my face. I couldn't speak, and no one would tell me where Melissa was or if she was okay. It was hell. The hospital I was in got shut down last year. Go figure. Anyway, all I thought about was her. My poor daughter. That poor little girl. You know, at Matt's funeral, she didn't even cry. She kept saying she needed to be strong. I kept telling her it was okay to be sad and that kids don't have to be strong, that that's a grown-up's job. But the only time I saw her shed a tear was when we lit the memorial candles. And I later found out that was because wax dripped on her skin. I promise I was all set up to get her to like a good therapist before the country shut down. Not that she would have talked to them anyway. I was in the hospital for 6 months. Fighting for my life, lonely as all fuck, making up stories in my mind about my daughter, happy and healthy and somewhere safe out there dancing in the spring flowers. And no one had faith that I would make it. Not even the doctors. You know, most people didn't, I guess. More than once I just gave up. I didn't even pray for healing or anything. I just gave in. But I always woke up the next day. And then I got better. I woke up and I sat up and I stood up and I walked and I thought of Melissa and I thought how I was going to be the one to take care of her from now on. She's always taken care of me. When my husband died, she took care of me. When I lost my job, she took care of me. When I got sick, she took care of me. And I knew this was my second chance. My chance to take care of her like a mother is supposed to. And I know it's been years. I know it's been years, and I know I'm not the only parent to lose their child in the whole mess of things, but you gotta help me find her. I've given up everything to get the money, and I know it's not a lot, but and that's all for my big fat lousy sob story. You have to help me find her. You're going to help me find her. Thank you. All right. Next up, we have Howard.
Hello, I'm Howard Drake, and I'm going to read for you a piece that I wrote called Screenplay Based on a True Story. There's no spoken dialogue. The text is read voiceover. I'm about 6 years old. It's early March, an unseasonably warm day. Camera zooms in on a small pet turtle in a shallow glass bowl on the windowsill. Turtle stands on hind legs, reaching for the rim of the glass bowl. With great effort, it lifts itself up and over, flopping onto the windowsill. It laboriously makes its way to the window, open a crack because it's an unusually warm day. The turtle rests a while and then heads over the sill toward the open window and out onto the red brick wall, hesitates and continues walking until it reaches the end and plummets 5 stories down to the narrow, fenced-in hedges that front the apartment building. I've seen nothing of this. When I go to feed the turtle, I'm puzzled. Where can it be? I look on the floor all over the room. Nothing. Then the question comes to me. Did the turtle walk to the sill and fall accidentally, or has the turtle committed suicide, preferring death to a life sentence in the bowl? My 6-year-old attention span expires very shortly after Mom removes the bowl from the windowsill, washes it, and puts it away. I forget all about the turtle. Until, that is, the next warm day, the real first day of spring. We go out and play in front of our building, and something in the narrow hedge garden catches my eye, and I remember my suicidal turtle. Camera zooms in on a whitish object about the size of an orange pit, resting on a small patch of dirt under the scraggly hedge. I move close and see that there's no trace of turtle corpse. But there's this white thing. My first thought is, it's a turtle egg. Unborn collateral damage, or maybe double suicide embryocide. Then I realize it's a peanut, though I can't imagine how in the world it got there. My friends and I decide that the peanut, surrogate for the departed turtle, should have a proper burial. Sherlock and I dig a shallow grave in the hedge garden and gently place the peanut in it, while our other dear elementary school friend, Watson, runs upstairs to find matches and candles to place around the grave. Suddenly, from far under the hedge, my eye detected a tiny motion. A few seconds later, a turtle's head poked out of its shell, and the little fellow came shuffling forward toward us. What would have been a beautiful funeral turned into a joyous reunion. We buried the peanut anyway. Thank you, and here's another poem of Anne's.
A poem by Anne E. Nunez. I heard Sam's father died today. The virus hit and sped away. A funeral will be on Zoom. No candles now dispel the gloom. And nascent spring with verdant views won't help my pain or spare the booze. Next, Jonathan.
Hi, I'm back again. It's my distinct privilege and pleasure to introduce our team leader, Stephanie Iverson, and Echo's artistic director, Maui Jones, in the roles of Rob and Liz, in a new short play that I wrote and directed about the power of love, connection, and friendship. I give you Firefly, accompanied by Cheryl Tomlin on vocals, guitar, and I hope you enjoy.
Hey, little guy. Hey, don't run. Don't run. Please, stay a sec. I walked so far. So far. I was hoping for the moon and maybe even the stars. It's dark tonight. Darker than usual. Chilly. And if I sit for a second, I'm just so tired. So tired. So cold. How do I look? That good, huh? Like a turtle hiding from the cold. Look familiar? Damn it. You know, I thought maybe if I could just get warm. You're not cold, are you? Because I had a little guy like you when I was little, and I called him Topper because he came with a top over his body. So don't worry, I won't hurt you. You know, I used to feed him, except for when I forgot. But my mom fed him. You know, she fed him and cleaned his tank. And I used to go down to the basement and play with him since he was by himself all day while I was at school. You know, he was really cute. And one day my mom picked me up from school and told me Topper's shell was cracked on the bottom under his belly and he died. And my dad wrapped him in a towel and we put him in a little box and we dug a little hole in the backyard and we asked God to watch over him. I don't know why I'm remembering that now. I don't know, maybe I'm a little drunk. I don't know. We had a lot of sleepovers in the basement when I was in high school. If those walls could talk. Vodka. Where is everyone? Ben! Alex! T-A-L, dog-ass lips. Come on out. I was trying to compliment you. Your lips were soft. Lauren, did you move to Japan? Matt, you old grandpa. No. You were quiet anyway, but it was high school, and you're probably thinking we were mean to you, but I thought you were very, very cool. And you were sweet. Tina, get your frumpy ass out here. Take the cigarette out your mouth, put those pajama pants on, and come on out. Liz, princess, you were princess. What was that song you did with Tina? I can't remember. It's so cold. It's so damn cold and quiet. Where did everybody go? If you said goodbye to me tonight, there would still be music left to write. I haven't thought about that for the longest time. And neither of you. Jesus is strong. This is like a high school cheat. Send you to the AR vodka level strong. Let's go with the old standbys. You want some, little guy? No? What? Turtles don't drink vodka? Silly me. Elementary, my dear Watson. What? Yeah. Stupid, I know. Well, that's okay. You stay the way you are because you'll be fine. Don't drink the water or the vodka. Whoa! We used to drive around singing that. I feel so hungry.
Well, here. You know, you told me once to say a line and be more hungry when I said it. Midnight munchies was fine. Have a peanut. It's me. Remember that time you directed me to say my line and be more hungry? Weirdest acting note I've ever gotten, by the way. Now who's hungry, yeah? Also, you're off key. You gotta come up a third. Whoa. If you said goodbye to me tonight. Come on.
You're here.
No, I'm zooming you. You're still so cute. People still tell you that?
My mom. And I didn't get a Zoom invite from you. I didn't even get a notice you were going to die.
Well, you would probably switched off your Wi-Fi. I know. I didn't know my Wi-Fi was going to go out either. Come here. Look up. Come on, come with me.
It looks different.
Time will do that. You smell that? It's the first day of spring. Can you smell it?
I don't.
Listen. Smell it. Oh gosh, it's spring.
It's freezing.
Well, I'm dead, so I'm right. I win. Point. We used to swing on those swings on Friday nights before Ben and Alana would drive us to Baker Square.
For mozzarella sticks and that damn game of euchre. I blame Tina for that.
I know. Johnny hated that, so he'd sit there drowning his mozzarella sticks in ketchup and watching us play, driving up the cost of ketchup for everybody.
How is Johnny? I lost track.
He's good now. He looked up and he started moving forward.
That's good.
That was fun. It was a lot of fun. Do you want to swing?
Sure. Siggy?
No, I quit.
But you're dead.
You win some, you lose some.
If Alex were here, she'd probably be trying to bum one. Mooch.
Well, she was shamed, having dog-ass lips and all. How is that a compliment? I still don't get it.
I told you, my dog had soft lips. She had soft lips. So it just came out. You have dog-ass lips. I thought she'd be flattered.
You've got a lot to learn. Secretly, we were the coolest ones. You were kind of wise.
And you were kind of goofy. And had the best voice. You were the youngest in the group, but you knew the most.
What happened, Rob?
I don't know.
Did you ever see a firefly in the dead of night? Not as dusk is turning tonight, but like true dark. True night, and a firefly lights up like a candle for a second, and then it's gone. And you're not really sure if you saw it at all.
I think here in the park, back in high school, there were fireflies then. There were, there was magic then.
Do you remember when you were 17 at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Gathering? When we brought down that show you directed about the Vietnam War for their reunion at Lake Ladonna? The one where you told me to be more hungry in the second act. You've gotten better since then, I take it.
I don't know. I stopped. Cracked.
I know. I've been watching.
And why did you ask?
Part of my princess powers of psychoanalyzing you. They invited us to the ceremony after. Remember that magic?
I remember that.
There was a wall and they gave us candles and someone started praying. And they gave us those bracelets to commemorate those who never came home. And we lit the candles and oh my God, we lit the candles and we placed them on the wall in the park. And then someone started singing Amazing Grace. And there was like 100, 200 people or more singing. And we were in high school. I mean, we were only 17, the same age those men and women were when they went off to Vietnam.
I have a photograph of that. Standing next to you, lighting candles. There's a woman next to us wiping her eyes at the memorial service. She must have lost her brother or father or someone over there. And she didn't get to say goodbye. And there was a memorial service when you left. And people sang. And I just stood there in the back and watched. And I didn't speak or sing or light a candle anywhere. And Laura sang, "The water is wide."
sweetest flower.
The best sister.
That song hits me at midnight now, when it's dark and things just stopped. I drove home alone and passed by this park. I'm sorry I didn't even light a candle or sing something for you.
Just your love and friendship. Hey, that was enough. But I need you to do something for me now. In exchange for the peanuts, of course, and having the best voice. Look up. Up. I brought you 58,000 candles tonight. 58,000 reasons why. 58,000 reasons to look up and move forward. Just like in Vietnam. They're all for you, my friend. You were never alone. You just never looked up all those years. Just look up, keep your Wi-Fi on. It's not broken. Nothing is cracked.
There's no Zoom in heaven.
But there's fireflies everywhere. Just look up. They're all around you. Hey. Come on, I'll walk you home. You may be all grown up, but your mom will kill me if I don't get you home in one piece.
I miss you.
Of course you do. I was the funnest one.
I do love you, my friend.
I love you too. It's okay. Come on. Maybe this won't last very long, but you feel right. I could be wrong. Come on. Sing it like you're hungry.
Once I thought my innocence was gone.
Now I know that happiness goes on.
That's where you found me.
When you put your arms around me. I said keep looking up.
I haven't been there for the longest time. Thank you.
All right. Now we're going to do a short little intermission. In case you didn't want to use the toilet while watching us, you can go now. There's nothing going on.
Yes, yeah, 3 minutes, and then we'll tell you a little bit about what we have coming up, and then the next act.
Yes, there's still plenty more to see, so don't leave.
Don't leave. All right, we'll be back in a few minutes. Oh man. Hey everybody. I needed to take a couple minutes. That's a pretty intense scene. While I'm waiting for my partner in crime, Steph, I just want to thank Jonathan so much for writing that piece. It's a really tough piece, but it is a beautiful piece, and I needed that. So thank you for your words, Jonathan. Oh, hey, there he is.
I'm here. Look, my girlfriend brought me flowers.
Nice. My partner did not give me flowers, but she is making me banana bread. So,
Aren't we
yeah.
lucky?
Also, this is water.
Real
Just so
vodka.
everybody knows, I did not just drink half a bottle of vodka. This is water.
You'd be like, hello, everybody. No, Maui. Okay, take your time.
See? All right. So before we go into our second act, we wanted to talk a little bit about what we have coming up with Echo and Reverb. So first up, Echo Submit. Steph, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So we just got done with our first round of Echo Submit. Echo Submit is our contests that we've been holding since quarantine started, where people can submit one acts, and we will put them up on our virtual stage. And these are one acts written specifically to be performed on screen through StreamYard or Zoom or whatever we choose to do. Which is really exciting because this is our venue right now. This is the place where we act. This is where our audience is. So to see pieces, and you'll see one later that one of our ensemble members wrote, that are written specifically to be performed like this, it's awesome because it takes our disadvantages and makes them advantages, and it's as magical as real theater. It's so great. That being said, we are all done with our first round of submissions, but we are taking submissions now for our July performances.
Yes, excited about that. And who are the winners of our first submission period?
So we had a piece by Ray Van Fox was one of our winners, and that one is very good. And I'm looking for our post right now so that I can say the exact name. And our second winner was Andre Richardson Hogan II.
That is a wonderful name. I love that.
And,
so yeah, we have that, and it's going to be awesome. I've read the plays, and they are absolutely fantastic. So good, and I think everybody's going to be really excited to check them out. Also would like to quickly mention, I just heard that we've raised $180 tonight. So thank you so much to all of our viewers. Keep it going. If you haven't donated yet, the donation site is at the bottom, echotheatercollective.org/donate. So please check that out. Oh man, I'm a little gassy from drinking all that vodka water.
That's okay. I choke on a peanut every single time we do that scene.
So what else do we have coming up, Steph?
Well, okay. I forgot to mention the next Echo Submit. We're taking one acts and monologues. So either of those, if you write either of those, we will be taking them. You can check out the post on the Echo Facebook page. What else do we have coming up, Mr. Quizmaster?
Oh, that's interesting that you say that. So we are currently doing a trivia tournament on the Echo Show. Our upcoming ones are on the 3rd, the 5th, and the 10th of June. We're really excited about that. We have community members going head to head. And if you want to donate prizes to that, get in touch with me. You can PM me if you're friends with me on Facebook, or PM the Echo Theater Collective page. We're doing community source prizes. I myself am putting in a $50 gift card. Someone has put in home baked cookies. Whoever wins is going to get this community care package contactlessly delivered to their porch. So we'd love to have you be a part of that. All of the matches stream live. And it's a lot of fun. It's a pop culture trivia competition. So we have that. And we will continue doing these Echopiece theater evenings as well throughout quarantine. We are in the process, in the early stages of working on an art and theater festival, the Unity virtual festival. So we're really looking forward to that. Working with various theater companies and musicians throughout the near west suburbs, raising money for COVID relief. So expect to hear some more information about that coming up soon as well. Also on the Echo Show, we do interview local community members that are doing awesome things. And so I have some exciting interviews scheduled to come up. Not ready to quite announce them yet, but there should be some information on that early next week. So.
All right. Awesome. Okay. So keep an eye on the Echo Theater Collective Facebook page. Give us a like, give us a follow. Yay.
Absolutely. All right. Shall we dive back in?
Yes. Okay. All right. I'm going to take out Maui. Bye, Maui. See you later. And for our first piece of the second act, we have Jean Louise. Let me pop her in.
Hey, the next piece is called The Peanut. Now, full disclosure, I didn't write this, but I did get this joke offline called It's About a Peanut. And then what I did is I scripted it so that there are characters, and the characters will present the joke as a mini play. I don't know if you're going to bring them up, Stephanie. We practiced that. Can I introduce them? Okay, so I'm the narrator. And then, that's not the man, that's the woman. That's okay. She's in it too. This is Ann Nunes, Ann E. Nunes. She's the woman. Howard, there he is. He's the man. Stephanie, can you do this? Stephanie, do this and bring us up. Okay, Stephanie is the daughter, and our own Jonathan is the boyfriend.
Hi.
Okay, now we got to get rid of the boyfriend and the daughter for a little bit, and also and for me, and I'll be going, and I'm the narrator. You won't see me. Ready? Here we go. Okay, it's the first day of spring, and a man, along with his wife, is casually tossing peanuts into the air and catching them in his mouth. The couple is watching a rerun of their favorite movie titled Turtles at a Funeral. The man loses concentration for a split second and a peanut gets stuck in his ear.
Hey.
Are you okay?
I don't know how the hell this happened, but I have a peanut in my ear, and no matter what I do, I can't get it out. What should we do?
Well, I guess we have to go to the ER, the emergency room. They'll help us. They'll get it out. They'll know what to do.
Just then, their daughter comes in with her boyfriend, who happens to be a second-year medical student.
You're not going to believe this, but I was tossing peanuts in the air, catching my mouth, and one of them got in my ear, and I can't get it out.
Well, it seems awfully dark in here. Should we light some candles to help?
Of course not. We don't need more lights. I know what to do. I saw this procedure demonstrated on a Zoom conference call. All I have to do is stick 2 fingers up his nose. Come on. Right up there. Right. Hard out your nose.
Well, look at that. The peanut went clear across the room.
Great. He's fine. Come on, babe. Let's go to the kitchen and get something to drink.
So, what kind of a doctor do you think he'll be? A surgeon? A GP? What?
Well, from the smell of his fingers, I think he's going to be a gynecologist.
Ah, no.
This is not a dirty joke, it's an adult joke. I hope you
All right.
Jean Louise.
Okay, and so now, Jonathan.
Sorry, next is Maura.
Hi, I'm Maura. My piece is called COVID Spring Isolation Observations. Normally, spring is a time of renewal and growth, a rebirth of sorts. The trees, the plants, the animals, us. We emerge from our winter cocoons to greet the world. Because everything just starts looking brighter as winter leaves and the days get warmer and longer. But this spring, this COVID spring, instead of emerging, we retreated. We began a period of social distancing, isolation. Schools were closed, events canceled. We were first asked and then told to stay in, work from home if we could, limit our trips out into the world, stay away from our friends and family members, anyone who doesn't live with us. It's been difficult, lonely, harder on some of us than others. Me, I live alone with my cat. It's been it's been rough. But a funny thing happened to me, and I don't think I'm alone, so I want to share it. As I settled into my solitude, I also settled into a routine. I walk every day. I make sure I get enough sleep. I watch what I eat. I prepared my own food. I joined Weight Watchers. I listen to inspirational messages. I am working on me. And quite frankly, that's a little easier to do on my own without the distractions and the temptations. And it's work I need to do. You see, I don't want to be an easy target for this virus. So I do what I can to take care of myself, to get strong and healthy. So I do these things. And every day, I walk. I walk rain or shine, hot or cold. When I first started, it was parka weather, and now it's shorts and tank tops. I go to this park, a nice park with a walking path and a pond and baseball diamonds, even a disc golf course. A mile there, a mile back, about a half a mile to walk around. When I started walking, the pond was a little more than a frozen mud pit. So imagine my surprise when I saw koi swimming there one day. I guess maybe that was the first day of spring for me. Then there were a lot of koi and turtles and ducklings. The pond just came alive, seemingly before my very eyes, every day bringing new surprises. The simple joy of seeing turtles sunning themselves on a rock, ducks playing, squirrels eating peanuts. It's kind of hard to explain, but I think most of us, or at least a lot of us, we feel that way. I am not the only one who stops at that pond to just take it all in. I see other people on these walks. We nod, we smile, but we keep our distance. Still, there is something in that nod, that smile. We are all in this COVID spring together. We're connected even as we keep our distance. Now more than ever, I feel that kinship, even with total strangers, as well as my friends and my family. And I see kindness in the simplest acts. I see encouraging words written in colored chalk on the sidewalks, signs in windows, balloons on lawns, birthday and graduation caravans, a A lost stuffed animal propped against the wall under an overpass, protected from the elements, waiting for the little girl or boy to come back for it. And families walking together, playing, having picnics, riding bikes and scooters. They have time now to do these things. We have time now to do these things. Couples strolling hand in hand, people running, exercising along the path. We're adapting. We're making the best of it, seizing the day. And when the world is open again and we find our new normal, I think a part of me is going to miss all of this as much as I miss the old normal now. It's been an interesting spring. And I'm just going to end this with kind of a list of some observations and things that maybe I've learned during my COVID spring. Number one, old people can learn new tricks. Things like Zoom and WebEx and House Party and Jitsi. So many ways to see each other without actually being together. Number two, I'm a pretty good cook. I had almost forgotten. Number three, I am not alone. Number four, I have not yet learned to play the ukulele, but that's okay. Number five, reach out to your friends. They are not as okay as they want you to think they are. Number six, it's okay to not be okay. Phone a friend. I'll bet they pick up or they call you right back. I've got time now. And number seven, kindness. Kindness matters. And trust me, it is all around you in 1,000 different ways. So take it in and pay it forward. And thanks for listening. And I'm going to turn this over to Kimberly now. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm here to introduce the next piece. It's called Sensitivity Training, and I wrote it. And you're going to see a lot of familiar Reverb faces and some special guests. So I hope you enjoy it.
You know, baking, jigsaw puzzles, going for walks, trying to be, stay busy when I'm not working. I remember earlier today that I forgot to clean up the refrigerator in the break room before we left the office the last time.
Now that's going to be pleasant to get back to. Is it really the idiot kid?
It's not nice to call Wes that. He is Mr. Walcott's grandson.
Sue, if you only knew. Promise me this is not going to take long.
No promises.
This is the biggest kick in the teeth from her. I was friends with her. I supported her. Chris came to me right after it happened. I was there for her. You know, she told me that it looked like a little turtle out from his pants. God.
Oh, I'm glad I wasn't there. Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
Good morning. Sorry, am I interrupting?
No, dear, you're early. Good for you. How are you this morning?
I'm fine. What do you need me to do today?
Good morning, Danny.
Good morning, Miss.
You can call me Lynn.
Today is a bit unusual. We're going to be participating in we're calling it a sensitivity seminar. It's just a little exercise to help us work better together.
Have I done something wrong?
Goodness, no, the whole office is taking part. It's just to get us to work better together, be more supportive of each other. If we can engage with each other more, supportive, maybe less hostile,
Okay. What?
sorry, I'm not explaining it well. The brochure says that we're going to, a trained psychologist will help your workplace identify the perceptual and psychological processes that impact decision-making within our organization.
Basically, remember to zip up your zipper when you leave the bathroom and you'll be fine.
Lynn, don't scare her.
Oh, what, Sue? It's a really small office. She's going to find out eventually. Danny, there was an incident a few months ago where one of the partners forgot to zip up his pants and use the bathroom.
Oh, well, that's not so bad, I guess.
It wouldn't have been, except he forgot to put on underwear also.
Oh! Ooh.
Morning.
Hello.
Hi, Sue. Hi, Lynn.
Hi.
Danny, right?
Yeah, Danny.
Okay, let's get the show on the road. Is everybody here?
Yeah, everyone. Wait, I don't see Wes.
So get his mother on the phone and tell her to kick him out of bed and get logged on, okay?
On it.
Danny, right? Nice to have you aboard.
Thank you, Mr. Fleischman. I'm happy to be here.
I'm Mr. Walcott.
Oh, Mr. Walker, I'm so sorry.
Good morning.
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 My name is Dr. Beverly Stillwell. You can call me Dr. Beverly. My goal here is to help you identify the perceptual and psychological processes that impact decision-making within your organization. How do I accomplish this? With a lot of listening. Normally, I would do some small group breakout sessions, and I wouldn't think of doing this type of work the Zoom way. But I understand that there is some urgency, so we're going to try it virtually. I want to honor your presence and your participation in this process. To begin, I have a little centering exercise that I like to do. I want everyone to close their eyes, put their palms open on their laps, and listen until you can't hear the chime anymore. Okay, not meditators. And no worries, we are adaptable. Please, everyone, please take a deep breath in with me. Breathe in. Please breathe in. Please, this process only works if I get some participation. Red face young lady, you can breathe out now. I understand that I need to certify participation as part of a lawsuit settlement. Now, please breathe in.
I'm going to track her down and kill her.
Oh, shit.
Wes.
Burn the candle at both ends there, Wes. Chip off the old block.
Oh, hi, Pop.
Ladies and gentlemen, please. I am offering you an opportunity for growth here. Please be respectful. I must insist on it or I will cancel this meeting. Before we go on any further, it will be helpful to meet everyone where they are. I want to go around the group and I would like everyone to check in. Tell me your name and tell me, how are you feeling in this moment? Let's start with you, the sleepy one. Then we'll go in the order that we joined the meeting.
Wes, bored.
Lynn, tense.
Sue, aggravated.
Danny, Confused?
Displeased.
I'm hearing a lot of tension and some resistance, but also some honesty. Thank you. This is good. I'm sorry, sir. You with the headphones? What's your name? Mr. Fleischman.
Gene.
Okay, Gene. How do you feel?
Don't know what you mean.
Describe your current emotional state.
Uncertain.
Is uncertain how you feel right now or what you're thinking?
There's a difference?
Yes, a very important one. I have an exercise that could help. It's better done face to face and in groups, but in light of our current limitations, we'll try it the Zoom way. I'm going to make a face expressing an emotion. And Gene, I want you to tell me what you think I'm feeling.
Okay.
Okay, Gene. How am I feeling?
Glad.
Very good, Gene. Now, tell me, how am I feeling?
Sad.
Excellent work, Mr. Fleischman. Now, I want you to tell me how you're feeling.
I feel cold.
Right brain meet left brain.
Maybe you should just move on.
Yes, let's move on.
I would advise against jumping into the meat of this seminar without establishing the proper, open, and supporting environments. But desperate times call for desperate measures. Can you all promise me to be active listeners?
They really didn't teach that in accountancy school.
Active listening is a technique designed to keep you engaged with your conversation partner in a positive way. You are to listen intently while someone else speaks, paraphrase, and reflect back what they've said. You are also to withhold judgment and advice.
Sorry, what was that?
I am asking you to engage with the person speaking, not in a passive way, but to really try and listen and understand the meaning the speaker is trying to convey. Then I'm going to ask you, each of you, to say back what you believe you heard. Can everyone do that?
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
There are many great exercises that help a person develop their active listening skill. But Zoom is going to make this extremely difficult. So let's try to tell a story. I'm going to start by giving you a sentence. Then when I call on you, you are going to add your contribution to the story. I'm going to keep notes to ensure that there are no continuity errors, which would suggest poor listening. Does everyone understand?
Sure.
Let's see how this goes. Okay, why don't we start with you with the colorful hair, and then we'll go around. What's your name?
Danny.
Okay, Danny, you can start. Here's your sentence. So, the other day, I went to the store.
Oh, okay. And then, well, I guess. Okay, so I needed some flour, and I needed some oranges to make a cake.
Very good. You see how Danny acknowledged what I said about going to the store and expanded on the story? Let's move on. You're next, young man. Young man,
What?
young man,
What?
if you cannot participate, you will have to leave. I am trying to create an atmosphere of openness and honesty.
We're telling a story about going to the store.
The store. Okay. It was the first day of spring, March 19th, after a harsh winter. The warm kiss of the sun on my neck was a welcome arrival. Although I had protested at my father's insistence, I had grown to appreciate the errand. You know how he gets when he runs out of his peanuts or apricots. Anyway, I was on my way towards the grocery in my new Audi A7. Now, it may sound like I was being irrational in my defiance, but I assure you I was being anything but. I chose a grocery store more than 25 miles away from our home in order to better enjoy the ride. Anywho, I was cruising down side streets, eating up the pavement, went through no fault of my own. I might have accidentally run a red light. So you might imagine my surprise when I see the reflection of the red and blue in my rearview mirror. Despite this, I kept going, as most of the cops in our neighborhood know better to hassle one of our family. But after a while, I waved a couple of times and he kept the sirens on, so I pulled over. Young man, you know how fast you were going. Well, why, yes, I do, officer. I believe you'll find I was quite comfortably hitting the speed limit. Then I might have reached into my wallet when he said, "Young man, are you trying to bribe me?" No, officer. Just consider it a fine gift for your service for this fine country. Whatever, kid. It's your funeral.
Hold it right there, Les. You better stop there before you incriminate yourself any further.
That's probably enough. Lynn, then Sue.
So I got to the store.
And I went in the store.
Not exactly substantive, but I guess that we are moving the story forward. Mr. Walcott and then Mr. Fleischman.
The store was crowded.
And cold.
Not the most creative and insightful I have ever heard, but you were all listening well enough to advance the story. So I would give you a solid passing grade. I'm a bit reluctant to try this, but our next exercise is going to require each of you to listen with attentiveness and behave empathetically. Okay? Our next exercise involves sharing with each other and requires some vulnerability. Please behave respectfully. Really? I'm going to have to ask you to leave this meeting, young man.
Okay, fine by me. See you later.
No, let him stay.
Be good.
One more outburst, and I must insist that he's removed.
Thank you. Wes, what do you say?
Sorry.
Oh, okay. I trust that you all are aware of the concept of white privilege. White privilege is a system of advantages that come from being part of a dominant race in a society or culture. Are there any questions? Then, to demonstrate your understanding of the concept, I'm going to ask some of you to share a story about how you benefited from white privilege. Miss Danny, would you like to share?
It's not really fair to make the new girl go first.
That's okay. I can answer. Okay. I benefited because I was able to go to a good high school and I wasn't singled out or picked on or anything. And there were a lot of people that looked like me at my school, and I didn't feel different because of my skin color.
Very good. Danny, that shows excellent thoughtfulness and insight. Jean, Mr. Fleischman, you're raising your hand. How have you benefited from white privilege?
I haven't.
I'm sure that if you give it some thought, you can think of a time where you maybe weren't eyed with suspicion walking at night. I'm looking for examples like that.
But I'm not white.
Excuse me?
I'm Jewish. We've been the victims of persecution for ages.
But you are also white. There are privileges that go along with that.
Plenty of you people would argue about that. I'm not white. I'm Jewish.
And don't you think being Jewish helped you get through accountancy school? It certainly would have helped me.
That's racist. They wouldn't even let us in the country club until the 80s.
Maybe the fact that you were able to join a country club at all is a sign of privilege. Now, if we could all just take a deeper breath and try to process. These are hard issues to discuss.
There's nothing to process. Jews have always been the victims of racism.
And you are white.
I'm Jewish.
Judaism is a religion, not a race.
It's both.
Think really? I had no idea.
But it's not like you have to be afraid to go running at night or reach for your wallet in front of a police officer.
Yeah, but we have to be careful about going to the synagogue. We had to hire security guards.
When was the last time you were in synagogue? When your father died?
No, I've been back since then.
Okay. Maybe it would be useful to hear from someone else. Miss Lynn, would you like to share next?
I don't benefit from white privilege. I'm a woman in a man's world. I've earned every advantage that I have.
Congratulations on working hard and being successful, but there are still certain prejudices that people of color face in our society that white people don't.
I don't really think that's true. I mean, race isn't really even a thing anymore. Does race have any useful meaning when classifying human beings? We really can't even distinguish a person's race or genetic makeup, can we?
Is that like saying you don't see color?
Well, I don't. I mean, you're my friend.
And what is that supposed to mean? If you saw color, I wouldn't be.
No, that's not it at all. I don't think you understand me.
Maybe because I'm black.
Whoa! That's not what I said.
So you're my friend in spite of my color or because of it. How do you think the story would have ended if I reached for my wallet and tried to bribe a cop?
Sue, wait. I think you're taking this the wrong way.
Or maybe I'm too stupid to understand.
Hey, I'm not the bad guy here. I've always had your back.
Thank you so much. I would clearly be nowhere without your generous patronage.
I have always advocated for you. I've always defended you.
Advocated, defended.
They pay Wes more than you.
I mean, of course, Mr. Walcott earns more.
No, not Mr. Walcott, Wes the Third.
What? How is that possible? Wesley, Jean, is that true?
Yeah, Wesley, is that true?
Sue, there are a lot of factors involved. When I brought on Wes, we agreed that he'd be paid directly out of my share, not as an expense of the firm's. So, well, yeah.
So you pay him more than you pay me.
Look, what you don't seem to understand is that, as I said, Wes is paid by me directly, not by the firm.
I've been your secretary and office manager for over 20 years. You have got to be kidding me. This little weasel who adds no value to the firm other than taking up valuable space in the break room refrigerator with his old lunches gets paid more than I do.
Sue, look, this really isn't a reflection on you or your work. It's just that Wes is my grandson.
Well, good luck getting Wes to do my work. I'm out of here. I quit.
So don't worry. We can figure this out in a more constructive environment. Unfortunately, Lynn said some things that she shouldn't have.
Hey, this was not my fault. Leave me out of this. Sue, I'm sorry. Sue?
Really, Miss Stillwell, you should have done a better job of controlling the seminar. Very unprofessional, if you ask me.
Excuse me, it's Dr. Stillwell.
Then you should have known better.
None of this is my fault. It's a product. It's a product of your toxic work environment.
We've had a productive and successful work environment here for 40 years. One afternoon with you and it all falls apart.
You people are awful. Just awful. I'm going to share this experience with my colleagues, and just maybe they can assign someone else to work with you. Good luck and goodbye. I'm leaving.
Sue, you really should have found a better facilitator. Sue?
I think she left. And excuse me, but I'm gonna go now too. Bye.
Where'd everyone go?
I'm still here, Papa.
Good boy, Wes. Is Sue really gone? What are we gonna do?
You know, if it wasn't for Wes here, we wouldn't be in this mess.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
Both of you, leave my grandson alone. Wes, you're excused.
Okay, later.
Now, Gene, if it weren't for you forgetting to put on your underwear and zip up your zipper, we wouldn't be in this mess.
He makes a good point, Gene.
Let's stay out of this.
If you ask me, this is both your faults.
You're the one that pissed off Sue.
Hey, I just told her the truth. You two took advantage of her for years.
That's not true. It wasn't me. It was all Wes's fault.
That's it. I'm done. You need to buy me out.
You need to buy me out.
Nonsense.
I do all the work.
I bring in all of the customers.
I do all the work and bring in the clients. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a call with one of your clients, and I have a sudden urge to call Sue and ask her to come work with me at a new firm. Far away from you two old men, your idiot grandchild, and a smelly refrigerator. I quit.
So angry. That's it. I've identified an emotion. You know, that's refrigerator does smell bad, doesn't it?
True. You don't really think Lynn would dare?
You don't really think Sue would blow us off, would you?
No. I'll call her tomorrow. I can still turn on the old Walcott charm when needed.
You know, this lawsuit really ticked the settlement box, didn't it?
I'll confirm with the lawyers on Monday.
Monday? But today was Monday.
Thank you for watching. Our last piece tonight is a poem by Anne E. Nunez. We held a funeral today. It was for Swifty, Paul's pet turtle. What a champ he was. Came in first in the contest at the fair. He loved peanuts. Odd for a turtle, I know. We held some in our hand and dropped them onto the grave. Molly read a poem, and at the end we blew out a candle. She said, "It was Swifty's spirit that blew into the wind." On this, the first day of spring. Thank you so much for joining us. That's our bake-off. Hope you had fun. I'd like to especially thank Stephanie Iverson, our peer leader and technical director, and Maui Jones, our inspiration and our founder. Love to you all. Be kind to each other, and echo love.
All right, we're gonna have curtain call. Yay! Everyone can give their bows. Maura. We're bowing.
Sorry.
Bow, bow. All right, here's some more people.
Be sure to stay on for the Q&A afterwards.
We have
And I
a
know other people clapping.
yay! Good job, everybody. Do your bows.
How you do that?
We'll be back.
And there's Mitch, who was in
Hey.
training. Yay! Only person we're missing is Michael, who. Oh, wait, he is here. Let's get him in. Yay! Take a bow. All right. Okay, I'm gonna take everyone out except for me and Maui.
I'm not Maui. I'm Quarantine Man.
All right, me and Quarantine Man.
I'm just joking. I'm Maui. Hi.
Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Thank you for dealing with our technical difficulties, and more work. It worked out better than I thought it was going to be, so that's great. We're going to have a little talk back now with our writers, so please stick around so we can see everyone one last time.
Yes, and please, if you have questions as we bring people in, feel free to put them in the comments, and we can bring them up and ask them live.
Yes.
Thank you, Becky, for loving Quarantine Man. Quarantine Man loves you too. So let's just go in order. Let's go with Anne first. She had 3 poems throughout the the Bake Off.
Do you want to just do all the Q&A, or you want me to stay too?
No, would you like you to say as well?
All right. Here's Anne. Yay!
Real quick before we start, I just this just made my day. Quarantine Man is actually Maui.
I've never seen them in the same room together.
I know, right? That's great. So Anne, that was wonderful. First of all, I loved how it, your poems were kind of like spaced throughout the play. It was a nice bookend. Could you tell me a little bit about what went through your head when you wrote those pieces?
Sure. Those were my first ever written poems. And the inspiration was the opportunity to use those ingredients. And also I'm taking a course on Shakespeare, and I felt like I had a muse just influencing me. And I sat down and wrote them in an hour, and I felt them, and it was wonderful. And I'm amazed that I was able to see them performed, and I'm grateful.
Okay, awesome.
You're
Awesome. Thank you for
awesome,
sharing
yeah.
that. Steph, you have a question?
I left it up to you if you wanted to do the reading, or if you wanted other people to do the reading, or other people volunteered. What made you decide that you wanted other people to perform them for you?
I wasn't sure how I'd respond. I think one of the motivations was COVID, and seeing all the devastation with families and 100,000 souls. I have a background in medicine, and the pain of someone being lost through COVID was deep. And I thought, I'd rather see someone else. I'd rather have that distance to these poems before they were produced or performed.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a lot of people to interview. So you have any parting words for us about your experience doing this Bake Off?
Fun, invigorating, collegial, creative, and many thanks.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that with us, and I can't wait to do Bake Off 2, have you as featured here again. I'm so happy that you joined our ragtag little group, and echo love to you.
Same to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, Steph, who we got next? Actually, real quick, first, everybody that just watched, if you enjoyed it, please, you see below, right, we have the suggested donation. Go to echotheatercollective.org/donate if you'd like to donate to the Echo Theater Collective and the Reverb Ensemble. This will help us not only continue doing these virtual offerings, but this will also help us make up for lost funds due to the quarantine. So yeah, thank you for that. Who do we got next?
Me, I was next.
It's me, No Spring by Stephanie Iverson. Yeah, tell us a little bit about your experience writing that piece.
Um, so with the ingredients we have, that was kind of just the first day of spring was the ingredient that I contributed. And the first part of that monologue was really just a string of thoughts that go through my mind because I love spring so much, and having it wasn't taken away from us this year, but because we were told to stay inside, a lot of us weren't going to work. I was not going outside as often, and I felt like I lost kind of that spring excitement that I feel when it starts to get warm outside. So the first part of that monologue was really just my thoughts and how I felt because of this. And then one of my favorite things about like sci-fi shows especially is when they do a future or like all of the like the apocalypse stories that are going on, when they do a future that's super close to what could actually happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, this is scary, but in a way that I hopefully won't have to deal with. Those are the kind of stories I like. So I wrote this based on something that was worse than what we're going through, but a little too close to reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And as I crafted the monologue, just this story of a mother losing her daughter came out of it.
Yeah. So the story of the mother losing the daughter, that was interesting because, that is, kind of outside of your lived experience. Tell me a little bit about your thought process of adding that element.
It just sort of happened, I wanted to write a character that was different from me because I was writing a lot of my own thoughts. So I wanted it to be coming from someone who has had different experiences for me. And that being said, my job before all this was babysitting, and I miss my kids so much. And it's very, very, very different from having your own kid and losing them permanently. But I still have a very small feeling of not being able to see them anymore, not being able to play with them, not being able to watch them grow for a couple months, and that just a tiny, tiny fraction is hurting me. And so drawing from that experience, it just kind of came out.
Thank you for that. Oh, we had a comment here from Cheryl Tomlin, our board president. Also, the singer you heard. We'll talk about that in a little bit on Firefly, on the music you heard during Firefly. She said this was such a great showcase of talent. Stephanie, No Spring was so moving. Great writing.
Oh,
thank you so much, Cheryl, for that comment.
Thank you, Cheryl.
We also have a comment here from Allison, another one of our board members and our business manager. As a parent, being sick like that scares me. What would happen if they had to call an ambulance on me? Well, thank you so much for that. Yeah, I think that was a home run of a piece. You should totally audition with that. I think it's great.
Oh,
Yeah. Next up, who do we have? Howard, I believe, is next.
Yes, let's bring Howard.
Let's bring Howard in. Howard, how you doing?
I'm fine. Doing well, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Excellent job on that monologue you did there. I'm asking you the same question I've asked everybody else. And once again, our viewers, we've still got about 30 people viewing. If you have any questions for any of these pieces, feel free to put it in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to ask a couple questions and move on because we have a lot of people and not a lot of time. Howard, tell me a little bit about your thought process behind writing your piece for the Bake Off.
Well, I really took it on simply as a challenge to incorporate as many of the bake-off ingredients as possible, without any particular, certainly not with any reference to our current situation, as some of the other pieces did have. And what the one ingredient that kind of triggered my thinking was the turtle, and I said, as a sort of subtitle to the piece, that it was based on a true story. And it was. I mean, this is. I think I was actually a little bit older than 6, but I did have a turtle that disappeared, and I did think it jumped out the window. The rest of it is all made up. But anyway, it was just a matter for me. It was just a matter of having fun with the bake-off ingredients and seeing if I could, put together something that was interesting and entertaining for people.
Yeah, thank you for that, Steph. You got a question?
Well, Howard, how about you talk a little bit about the fact that you wrote 2 different versions of this piece?
Oh, yes, I did. The first version I wrote was, I think it was that we found, I think maybe we found the remnants of the turtle and buried it. And I circulated that, and some of my castmates, like my ensemble member mates, complimented me on that, so they like that. But a couple of people said, well, maybe in these times that's a little bit too dark. Now, if you look back over what the actual bake-off contained, there was plenty of stuff more dark than the death of a turtle. But anyway, anyway, so I rewrote it to incorporate the idea that the turtle somehow miraculously appeared, and so the peanut was buried as its surrogate.
Wonderful. Awesome.
Thank you for that. And any parting thoughts on your experience doing a bake-off?
Oh, well, I actually don't think I had ever written anything for an event such as this. And so I enjoyed having that challenge put to me. And well, I guess that's it. I mean, that's it. I mean, I would welcome the opportunity again.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that. I definitely think this is something that we will do again. I think it's a great idea, and it's a fun way to do a showcase, but also to get you guys thinking about creating original content. So thank you so much for your work, and echo love to you, sir.
Bye, Howard.
All right. Next up,
Jonathan.
Let's bring in Jonathan.
Hi, I'm here.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
I wonder if we can get Cheryl Tomlin to join us in this too.
That would be cool.
This is a bit of a meatier piece to talk about, so I wonder if we could send her a link real quick if she's still on. Cheryl, if you're still watching, let us know, and we would love to make her in real quick. So I know, because I performed in it, and Stephanie knows because she performed in it. We'd love to hear a little bit from you about your thought process and why you wrote this piece.
Sure, of course. Well, the idea to do the bake-off was agreed upon with the group that I had brought forth from other bake-offs that I had heard of. I got the ingredients, and it was exciting to see the different ingredients. And I started the first week just kind of tossing ideas in my head, and because I believe we gave each other 2 weeks to do it, and I worked the piece out right one day, a second day, I took a day off, and the last day was to edit. And the story originally was just about the character of Rob, and the two characters that you did see in this and that are referenced throughout are based on, I mean, it's a work of fiction, but it's based on real people, some real, very concrete circumstances. And so this was originally going to be Rob's monologue, him talking in a forest to a turtle about his friends. And I was struggling with first person, second person, third person. How do I write this piece? And I realized that we're already in a period of isolation, and I don't want to write and the character is definitely isolated. I don't want to further isolate him in this forest, so we're entirely weighed down. I wanted to bring back this very real person, Liz, who this is based on, who Stephanie did a beautiful job with, and to come back from his past and to help him work his way through everything that's gone on for him. Because to me, it's really a piece about a guy, a youngish guy who has lost his way. He's just kind of stopped. He's kind of just stopped. He doesn't know how to move forward. Hi, Cheryl. And so, it was one night of drinking, probably a culmination of nights of drinking, years of drinking. And Liz comes back to him. And is she really there? Is she not there? Is it because he has a buzz going on? And that's where it came from, wanting to tell a story of a man struggling to move forward in life, who is just stuck, who is stopped. And the person who in real life also was so good at getting people to move forward and see the humor in things. Liz, she was the one that really he needed, but he couldn't have to help him move forward. And she came back. And just to help him get some closure and to start to move forward in his life. And it became a 2-person scene to give some hope, to give hope to anyone watching it, and hopefully identify with the story of friendship.
Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
Cheryl, I'm going to unmute your mic here. You had a little bit of echo going. I think you still had your actual watch of it going. So make sure you are correct. Yeah, your Facebook or your YouTube turned off for this portion. Stephanie, I'm going to kick over the next question to you.
Oh, okay.
So ask a question.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me a question.
No, I'm not asking you a question. I might ask you a question in a second. We have a few different people to talk to on this one.
Oh, I wasn't prepared. Well, how we could talk about the music. How did you pick music for this, Jonathan? And how did you pick that you wanted one of the songs to be sung and played live? Well, recorded live.
She did a great job. Cheryl did too. The song specifically, there may be some people in our viewers tonight who do recognize this song, and I'll share this now. This song was actually sung at a friend's funeral, at the Liz's funeral. This was the song that was sung.
Which I will say was powerful for me because I was at that funeral.
Yeah,
because the first time I've seen you in like years was at that funeral.
That's when we connected again on Facebook, and then lost touch again and came back. And so I picked it because it was just very powerful, and that song did stick with me through the years. And I definitely did not want to be in my own piece to write it and direct it. I was a little too close. I wanted somebody else to do it to get their takes on it. Maybe they had a different take on Liz. Maybe you have a different take on the character of Rob and the group of friends. And so I thought, you know what, to be true to the story of friendship, it was necessary to have that song. And so when Maui brought the idea of having Cheryl do it for us, instead of just having a track, played or with copyright issues, Cheryl said, okay, give me a few days, give me a week, and I'll send you something. And she sent it to me, and it was, I think, the complete file came through at about 1:30 in the morning because there was some tech issues, and I was in my bedroom in the dark, and I heard it, and just like the world stopped. It literally stopped for me for a moment, and I couldn't catch my breath, and it brought me back to that funeral, and I said, okay. But she also, there was I don't know if I say just a soulful Tracy Chapman-ish quality. I don't know, or something is the first thing that I thought of. Not that you're mimicking her, but that's what came to mind. I'm like, this is beautiful. It's not, I think people will find it beautiful, and it's also not going to be too heavy. And
for sure. I'm going to cut you a little short there because I want to hop over to Cheryl real quick because we don't have a lot of time. So Cheryl, I'd love to get your take on your process on taking that take on the song. Hi, Bevy. Bevy, everybody's talking about you in the comments. I bet. Hi, Bevy Lou. Love that.
I'm very thankful that, Jonathan, you had me do this piece. And when you originally said the title, I didn't know it, I couldn't think of it. And then I heard it, and it brought me back to that moment of Liz's memorial and Laura singing it. And I did just get wrapped up in that moment of remembrance of a friend, because me, myself, I was friends with Liz, but I wasn't a close friend. But I do think about her often, and I think about the idea of losing a friend and losing yourself along the way, and somehow this friendship, whether it's this by ethereal means or not, comes back to you, and it does guide you, and then you would hope that it lifts you up. It gives you some type of levity to this, the downness that happens in your life, especially around a time like this. So I really enjoyed recording this piece, and its guitar, vocals, and violin, and it was just a time for me to. Yes, honey. A time for me to be. She has her own violin. in that space. And it was a joy. And like I told Jonathan, and Stephanie and Maui, you did an amazing job acting that scene out, and you gave it a lot of heart. So thank you, for bringing me into that fold. It was wonderful.
I heard from a certain someone right afterwards that someone thought my voice was gorgeous, and so to the lady that said that, thank you very much. It was John's mom.
I had her tucked away in my bedroom.
Yeah.
It came out.
So real quick before you go, just answer this real quick, Jonathan. Was the park in question Scoville Park? It had a very Oak Park vibe.
No, it was closer, near there, Taylor Park.
Taylor Park.
Yeah.
Ray also thought that it was very Oak Park.
It
was basically Oak Park. So, yeah.
If you're watching this in California, if you have a park there, that works.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I want to thank the both of you so much, so much for that piece, for that music. It was absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. And thanks for bringing us the idea of the Bake Off, Jonathan. It's definitely something that I think we're going to do again.
Oh yes, you need to do this all the time. This is great.
It's wonderful. I think we'll do this on the stage once we're able to do that again as well. Yeah. So thank you so much.
Who I got the idea from?
Absolutely. We'll bring them in. We'll collaborate with them. We love collaboration.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. We got a couple more people to talk to. Mora Shay with COVID Spring, right? Would that be Jean Louise with the peanut. Jean, hey!
I was about to get passed over.
No. Never.
Thank you.
Thank you. So tell me a little bit about your adapted joke, please. This felt like similar vibe to what you did at the Oak Park Arms show.
Exactly. Yeah. I got the idea before that. Yeah, before that. So anyhow, I'm a joke person. I love jokes. I love to tell jokes. And before that, Oak Park Arms thing, it occurred to me that it'd be fun to have other people participate and actually dramatize the joke. So that was it. And so for this, my word was peanut. So I looked online for jokes about peanuts, and I found this joke. And I said, oh, yeah, I'll take that, and I'll just make the characters real. And I've added a little bit of my own little dialogue. And there was some improvisation on the part of the characters in the telling. So I like the other thing is the end of it. I mean, it's just kind of naughty, right?
That was hilarious. And the way he leaned in.
My mom really liked it.
I was like, oh my gosh. That was great.
Mom says your jokes are awesome.
Yes. And they brought down the house at the Arms too. I love that. It feels like a throwback to vaudeville. I love it.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Yeah. It's great to do.
And did you enjoy this format?
I did. I really did. I was trying, it didn't occur to me that my husband, we only have the one computer where we're looking at the whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I should have brought my husband in for the very beginning, but I didn't think about it. I knew I was going to have to be on screen. So, but then I brought him in for the video of, the training seminar. The training seminar.
I thought I saw him standing next to you while we were watching.
We were cracking. I was cracking up. I know it's so funny, but
thank you so much. All right, well, we look forward to the next one. Thank you so much.
Echo love to you.
Echo love to you.
Thanks, team. All right. We have Mora.
Marsha. Hello,
Hi.
Mora. Hey. Hi. So, I actually have a question out of the gate. So Becca Easley, one of our Echo peeps, friend of the pod, says, to the author of the poem Mora read about walking, and you wrote this piece, right? You wrote.
I did.
Right? So this is to you. The author is Mora. How many miles have you done?
You know what? I've been the walk to and from and around the park every day is about 2.5 miles.
Okay.
And I've been doing that every single day for at least the past 2 months. And when this whole thing started, it was maybe I was doing it 3 days a week, then 4 days a week, and it's and now I do it every day, and sometimes I take a second walk.
I love it. I'm all about the walking these days, so that makes me happy.
and every like I actually like this is stupid maybe, but like I feel like health. I feel my body getting stronger. I feel health like just growing in my body with every fucking step.
Mm-hmm.
And because like you, I mean, I had like kind of I've had a health crisis, and it was kind of like a come to Jesus moment, and like, what did I do to myself? And getting healthy, it's been a priority. So yeah, but yeah, it's about 2.5 miles a day. So I'm doing that at least every day right now.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I'm going for my record. I've already broken my record, but I'm going for a 20,000 step day. I'm at 18,621. So after this is over, I'm going to do one more quick walk to hit 20,000 steps in a day. What was your thought? Like, because like I felt your piece was pretty intimate, pretty personal, pretty introspective. Tell me a little bit about your thought process behind making that piece.
I wanted to do that. I wanted to do something that was very personal and very introspective to me. It's been a very introspective time for me because I live alone with my cat. I'm a walking stereotype. And I've been working from home like since the middle of March. I go out on the weekends just to grab essentials, and I come back home, and it's been kind of weird. And it was kind of important to me to just kind of do something personal and kind of put myself out there for this. For whatever reason, I just felt like it was kind of a priority. And instead of doing a character or telling a story, I really wanted to get a little bit more personal with it and my own personal like experiences.
Well, I thought it was absolutely wonderful, and
thank you.
Since you discovered that you are a good cook again,
Yes.
I'm expecting a plate at some point. So my
All right,
address
but
is
remember,
so
remember, like I'm low carb and you're low fat, but we'll have to like kind
we'll
of
meet
like
in the middle. No,
we'll meet in the
I'm low
middle, and
sodium. I'm low sodium.
You're low sodium. All
I'm low
right,
sodium. I need
we'll
that.
find a way. We'll find a way.
But I'll eat all that fat, so it's fine.
And Mara, as having seen the first draft of this piece into the final draft, I just want to say the process and the growth between the two. I mean, you took a couple weeks between the two.
I did.
And I was like blown away reading your final draft. It was
well, and the thing is, it's just kind of like evolved. Like so, there is something very like when you're walking, whether you're listening to music or not. There's something very like for me, and maybe Maui can like attest to this, and other people who do this too. It's just like there's something like your head, just like there are just thoughts that go through your head as you walk, and so the piece really did evolve, and it started with like seeing those damn turtles in the pond. Like, oh my God, there's turtles in here. Like, there are turtles and fish, and it really did start with that. And it's like, and I felt like I was kind of coming alive as the pond was coming alive, and as the park was coming alive, and so the piece grew over time, and there came to a point, like at one point it was like a little bit more even more introspective and maybe a little bit more deep, and it came to a point where I just really wanted it to be like positive and all the good things that are going on and all the good things that I'm seeing and feeling as I'm going through this, and things that we should hang on to, things that we've learned.
Well, thank you so much for your piece. Like I said, I thought it was wonderful. And I would love to hear it again. So, yeah, thank you so much, and I miss you very much. And echo love to you.
I want a hug.
Oh, I want to give you a hug once we're able to. I promise. I got all the hugs for all of you.
There's going to be like so many.
There's going to be a lot of hugs. It's going to be obnoxious. But yes,
Yeah.
we love you so much. Thank you so much.
Love you. Bye.
All right. Last but not least,
we have Kim, and I'm also going to bring in Mike, who performed in her piece.
Hey, Mike, have an A1 day, sir.
Everybody, Archie says hi too.
Hi,
Archie.
Hello, Archie. That's a very British dog name. It's weird that you said that because earlier today, Kate said to me, like, Archie, that's such a British pet name. and then now here's your dog Archie.
Yeah.
It's so strange. So Kimberly, this was your first time writing a piece, correct?
Yep.
So first of all, congratulations on the first piece that you've written. That is amazing, and scary, a very scary thing. Tell us a little bit about the process and how you feel about it.
It was absolutely amazing. I mean, I have said this to so many people that I'm sure people watching have heard me say this, but going into this, I had no idea that COVID-19 would turn me into a writer and a director. I've never done either of those things. And this has just been so exciting to start. And I guess as far as like the process went, I started with the ingredients and I started with our members. And I started just figuring out like an environment where these very different people would be together. So I instantly thought it would work.
Mm-hmm.
And it just sort of evolved from there. And then I honestly, you know, my son was in it, Mitch was in it, and I was actually looking for something for him to do. So that's where his part kind of came from.
I love it.
And I just want to thank Michael so much. You just brought so much life to the character, and it was great. Thanks for doing it.
I have to say, it's nice to see the two of you together again, because like I love your chemistry. So for those of you watching, Kimberly and Mike are two of the characters in Exit Strategy, a play that we would have been done with by now. And oh man, they were just finding some amazing places in terms of their chemistry, and I am heartbroken that you will not be able to see that for another year. But man, amazing. Mike, tell us about your experience doing a virtual show.
Wow. Well, the technical issues obviously, take some time getting used to. I think I was just thinking, when I read Kim's play out loud originally, it was laugh out loud funny. Mm-hmm. All the jokes were there. The writing, the language was tight. It was great. And even though we did our best on the screen, I think this would really work well on the stage. Mm-hmm. If you have people with each other, looking at each other, reacting to each other, having the audience give you energy, I think I would recommend trying this on the stage at some point.
Absolutely. I think that we'll have a lot of stuff that we can do on the stage eventually with all the content that we're creating digitally. Would be very exciting. I would love to do like an evening of like short scenes and one acts, the stuff that we've done. Like I could definitely see this one and like maybe even like like winking at the audience and doing it as a Zoom meeting, but live.
Yeah.
Right. And having people like in like stacked boxes, like that would be really fun.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I think that could be
really
cool.
like Hollywood Squares.
Right.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Like the Brady Bunch. Hey. So you have to turn opposite. Like we're used to this now. We have to turn the opposite way to wave at each other.
Yeah.
And any parting thoughts on well, actually, wait, before we get to the parting thoughts, one more question. In terms of the content of your piece, the second half, when it goes into the race and I'm not white, I'm Jewish, and that, I thought that was a very interesting thing, and I've heard stuff that we've all heard 1,000 times when we have these tough conversations. Could you tell us a little bit about why you chose that particular kind of content?
Because I mean, that was inspired directly by the Echo mission. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't going to write a piece that didn't speak to that. Mm-hmm. So those were, I kind of, that's why it went in that direction.
Okay. That's awesome. Thank you for that too, because I think that the second half of that, like when they all start sniping at each other, it really opens up, and it's funny, as Mike said, it's funny and the language is tight, but that is just like, okay, these people are
Yeah, my favorite part about that scene was this is supposed to be Danny's first day, and this is the shit show that she's hit with,
Mm-hmm.
and the slow decline of her realizing, oh man, I gotta quit.
Yeah.
Very well, Stephanie.
Yeah. Well, thank you both so much. I miss the both of you tremendously, and echo love to the both of you.
Echo love. Bye-bye.
Echo love.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Nice.
So here we are at the end, and that is another Echopiece theater in the bag. Thank you all so much. We still have 20 people watching to stay through the Q&A. Thank you so much. That is amazing. If you enjoyed what you've seen, if you would like to see more, look at the bottom, echotheatercollective.org/donate. All of our shows that we're going to do virtually, which we will continue even after quarantine is over, will be pay what you can. Our suggested donation for a show is $10 for this, but it is not required to view our virtual offerings. They will all be free to the public. #accessible-theater. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe, hit the bell so you can get notifications when we have new stuff going up. Check out our trivia competition. Look for our Echo Submit performance, which will also have the performance of sensitivity training in there as well. Please rate, review, comment on our YouTube page, on our Facebook page. Like, it helps us be more visible. Share our page, share the donation link, whatever you can do to help this community theater experiment that we've been doing for the past 3 years, which we really do and really and truly love and appreciate all the support we've gotten. Stephanie, you did an amazing job putting all this together. I am so proud of you. Going from you've gone from an extra and basically like didn't have very many speaking roles in Blues Mr. Charlie. Now you're like running the ensemble, and you're like the number 2 person on the artistic side of the company. I'm in awe of your growth, and I am in awe of you as an artist, and so thank you so much. You did a wonderful job putting this together.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun, and I have to thank the ensemble members. Obviously, they really brought their A game.
Absolutely, they did. Also, thank you to all the ensemble members. Thank you to our board. Thank you to all the people that have donated and helped us out. We have more stuff coming up. This is the end. Thank you so much. I'm going to go eat dinner and get those 1,500 steps in. Peace, echo love, and all things, as we always end our shows. You want to say it? You can say it.
And with all things, echo love.
There we go. All right. Good night, everybody.
Ah.